Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our scenario is Sunspots. It was written by Dave Sokolowski and is available from drivethrurpg.com. Our game master is Tyler Hudak, and this is episode 3. Our recap will be given by David Gassaway. So, without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. David?
Thank you. It's February of 1926, and it's a record-breakingly bitter winter when Daniel Peterson approaches several of his friends to help him retrieve his daughter Susan from a religious retreat in Red Valley in western Massachusetts, which she previously refused to leave. We visit her college at Evergreen first and learn a few things. We have a difficult blizzardy journey to Red Valley, and when we arrive in Red Valley, well, it's confusing. In Red Valley, it's near the summer solstice, as far as we can tell. It's balmy, the sun is high in the sky, there's no sign of blizzard or cold. We find the religious retreat that Susan had been with, standing in a circle where the cottages are, where they've been staying for about 2 months longer than the 2 days they planned. When we touch them physically, we find that there's a strange warmth radiating from the group, but we're not welcome there. And the pastor tells us that Susan is now apostate and following some sort of false god. We find ourselves some food and drink, choosing to drink some moonshine, most of us, rather than the water, which we fear might be tainted. We find accommodation or partial accommodation at a sort of old farmhouse bed and breakfast where there's not room for all of us because the town is overflowing with tourists. And we learn that the keeper of the hostelry is with a priestess of the god Apollo who has a stone, and there are several stones, and apparently you can buy a stone from a vendor, and these stones glow and imbue people with some power. Also, we find that everybody in town doesn't know what day it is, or hour it is, or month it is, or even year it is. And when we're thus thoroughly confused, we come across Susan at last. But she's dressed in white Shinto robes with a group of acolytes wearing some sort of homemade crown and holding a glowing stone to her own chest. She does not welcome us, and when Daniel physically approaches her, she says that we must leave, shows us a blinding light in her hand, and the next thing we know, it's dark and we're alone, standing in the same yard, lost in Red Valley, Massachusetts.
And that's where we start. As you look around, again, you notice that Susan Peterson and her entourage is gone. Daniel Peterson is missing. And then Oscar, your companion as well, has disappeared.
Where's Oscar? Where did everybody go? Is there like a house in front of us?
Yeah, so you're, if you look at the map, you're on Washington Avenue, just behind where the Bell and Whistle Cafe is.
Right.
And you're kind of surrounded by houses.
Could she have gone straight into the house that's in the yard that we're in?
It's possible. A lot of the lights appear to be off in some of the houses. But again, you don't know how long you've been standing there. One minute it was the middle of day, and now it's nighttime.
What does our watch say?
Yeah, I'm going to check my watch.
Your watch says 9 p.m.
So people should still be awake. Should we go? I'm going to walk up to the door and knock.
Okay. You knock.
I'll go with him.
At first, there's nothing. There's no response. After you knock a second time, you hear some rustling inside, and the door opens, and a very tired looking man with just bags under his eyes opens the door. He had flicked on a light so you can see that what he looks like, and he's just wearing kind of like a t-shirt and some slacks, but they're all kind of a little bit unkept, like he's been wearing them for a couple days. And in addition to that, I mean, he just looks, exhausted.
How good of a tan does he have?
He's got a pretty good tan. Some starting to border a little bit on being burnt, but beyond that, he seems. Okay.
I'm sorry to bother you, but we're looking for Susan Peterson. Is she here?
Looks at you and says, "Susan, I'm sorry," and he kind of rubs his eyes a little bit. I don't know any Susan.
Oh, she was in your front yard this afternoon.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sorry. I've been kind of, going around to different places. There were so many people in the town right now that they're just all kind of going wherever they want, and it's as long as they're not destroying anything, that was fine. Why did they do anything to my house?
We're just looking for her. No, she was in the process of worshiping when we found her.
Oh yeah, well, a lot of people are doing that. I'm sorry, I don't know. If you want, you can come down, by the beach tomorrow. Deputy Marks is usually down there.
No, thank you very much. We're sorry to bother you.
Oh, okay. And he kind of shuts the door, and you hear it lock.
I think we should run straight to Sunshine Cottage and see what the priest has to tell us now that it's night.
Well, I mean, certainly we can do that, but we're right near the church that we were going to in the first place.
Oh yeah, the Lady of Loretto. We can go there too.
Should we? That's probably just a couple doors down, isn't it?
Might I suggest we go there another day?
But we're already here.
Another day.
Okay, but here's the thing is, all these people we've talked to want us to come back at night. It is now night. We should go talk to the Celia lady and talk to these other people that would only talk to us after the sun fell.
All right. So let's go back to where are we going back?
So Sunshine Cottage first, I think. Oh wait, we'll be passing the hotel we're staying in, so maybe we can catch up with Priest Cecilia there.
All right.
Pig and Whistle thing or whatever it was.
Bell and
Yeah,
Whistle.
the Bell and Whistle Cafe.
That's the cafe. He's talking about the hotel.
Golden Nest Hotel. Yeah, the Golden Nest Hotel.
I'm not so sure that we need to talk to Reverend Thompson. He already told us what he knows, that she's not there anymore. She's obviously not there because we saw her here. Yeah, let's go talk to this priestess, Cecilia. Or Celia. I'm with you. Let's go.
Hey
All right,
guys,
let's go.
but before we walk over there, I don't know if I had too much to drink at lunch with that mug of whiskey, but wasn't it just daylight a couple seconds ago?
She did something to us. I don't know what she did.
How long have you been lying down here? Doesn't feel like much long.
Well,
And we're standing the same place we were when she opened her hand.
it was.
But I don't know how long ago that was. The sun
Well,
hadn't set.
Wasn't it?
Danny is missing.
Well, last time I looked at my watch, it was around 7 o'clock. It's now 9 o'clock, so I just lost like 2 hours.
All right.
At
2
least.
hours or 2 days and 2 hours.
Well, our watches would have wound down in that time,
Good point.
assuming watches work here.
Well, they apparently align with the time that's here. So let's go back to the Golden.
All right, so you start heading back to the Golden Nest Hotel. You notice, though, that as you walk back, you do see people kind of not stumbling around, but everybody you see that's kind of walking around is very tanned and looking kind of worn out. Some of the people you pass have just food stains on the front of their clothes. and you're noticing that they appear tired, not necessarily from exhaustion from doing stuff, but almost like they're kind of hitting that like food coma type sluggishness where they've just eaten a lot and are just a lot of them are just trying to get back to wherever they're staying to probably pass out for the night.
Are they talking to one another as they stagger back, or are they quiet and contemplative? And are they in like groups of 2 and 3, or are they in groups like they were worshiping together all day?
No, they're mostly in groups of a couple people, like 2 or 3 people. Every once in a while you'll see like a big group, but when that's more when you look down towards the lake, down by the businesses, you may see like a larger group down that way. You get back to the hotel. You go in the front door and you're immediately hit with smells of cooked food. And at this point, the old woman who you had, or not old woman, but the woman you had talked to previously, whose name escapes my mind, Shirley Smeag, walks out of the room and greets you and says, "Oh, you're back. Just in time. We were about to put the food away. Can I interest any of you in eating?"
Are we particularly hungry, or
you kind of are? I mean, even though you had just in your mind left the cafe, it's obvious that a number of hours have actually passed.
That's very kind of you. We were really hoping we could speak with Priestess Celia.
Oh, I think she might be out back near the hot springs. You'd have to go back and see if she's back there.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go to hot springs.
Yep.
All right, so you start.
We'll be right back to eat some of that delicious-looking food.
She says, "All right, I will make sure that I keep it for you."
Thank you kindly.
As you walk out the back, you basically go through a hallway to a back door, open it up, and it opens up to a back porch, and you start leaving the porch. When you notice that there is another woman sitting on the back porch as well. She's sitting there drinking with a glass of wine in her hand, probably mid-30s, black hair. And she just kind of looks at you as you all file out of the door and just kind of smile.
Hello.
She smiles at you and says, "Hello. Are you guests here at the hotel too?"
Yes. At the moment we're trying to look for Priestess Celia.
Oh, her. Yeah, she's probably back there somewhere, and points through the backyard. You see a trail that leads off into the woods with a sign next to it that says Hot Springs.
Okay. Nice to meet you. And I keep going.
I'm going to ask her if there's something about the priestess that she finds distasteful.
She kind of, when you say that, she just kind of smiles a little bit and says, she starts kind of looking around to figure out a nice way to say this. She says, not distasteful, it's just a little odd, I guess. But then again, I don't know how long you've been here in this town. There's a lot of little odd things that are going on.
What do you find out about her?
Say that again?
What did you find out about her?
You mean the fact that she holds the stone constantly and thinks that she's worshiping Apollo?
Don't many people here do that?
Yeah. I mean, I've been staying in my room most of the time. I've got work to do. So,
how long have you been here yourself, and what kind of work are you doing?
She takes another drink and says, I've been here at least a couple weeks, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. Actually, kind of here for my husband, my boss, and just waiting for him to get here. He'll be here in a couple days. Go ahead and make a psychology roll.
Okay.
Ooh, 01. Got it.
Yeah, I made a hard.
So when she says that, she kind of gets this almost angry look on her face when she says that her boss is coming. But
does she also have a noticeable tan?
No, she doesn't actually.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She seems
Is
to be
it angry like he's late and she's annoyed?
She's definitely annoyed at something.
Can you tell me what's the date you arrived here?
I don't know, whatever 3 weeks ago was, and she says, it would have been early February, I guess.
Yeah, finally.
It's pretty close to reality.
But does it seem to you like you've had 21 day and nights?
Feels longer than that. Being stuck here in this town. But yeah, I guess that sounds about right.
If you don't mind, what kind of work are you in? What line of work?
Mostly translating, things like that. All academic stuff. You probably wouldn't find it interesting. Like I said, I'm just I'm here with one of my coworkers, and just trying to get all this work done before my boss shows up.
What languages do you operate in?
Oh, I've translated a bunch of languages. She starts naming off some languages that she can speak fluently, like German and French and Spanish and Latin.
Impressive. And is your colleague out wandering around, or is he or she hard at work too?
She lets out this huge sigh and just starts to vent, saying, you know what, he's supposed to be helping me. He's got a job to do, and he's just down there by the beach doing God knows what. I wish Jason would get here or get back up here and do his work or do what he's supposed to be doing, because I can't really, do this all on my own. And after she says that, she immediately stops and takes another, drink of her wine really fast and says, but, I apologize. I'm kind of, I'm just frustrated. And I need to get back to work. So if you'll excuse me. And she's, stands up and starts to go back inside.
Thanks very much for chatting. What's Jason's part of the job if you're doing the translation?
Oh, he's got his own job. Yeah, it's nothing too exciting.
Well, I'll try to keep an eye out for him. What should I look for?
Oh, he's, thin, probably in his, 20s. He's, like I said, he's down at the beach, probably just staring at the women. And she kind of, smiles a little bit, and takes her drink and, goes inside.
It's been a pleasure. Have a good night.
Here we go. You too.
So let's move on to Priestess.
So you go down the spa, the path to the spa, and it goes, through. It's a stone path that goes through the woods for probably about 50 feet, and then opens up into a clearing. But in the middle of the clearing is a very large hot spring. It's probably about 10 or 20 feet across. And you can see little bubbles coming out. It's very obvious that this is the hot springs. But as you look around, you don't really see anybody here.
Does it smell like sulfur or something?
It does smell a little bit like sulfur.
Why don't we spread
not
out
unpleasant.
a little bit? See if we can find her. I said, why don't we spread out a little bit and see if we can find her?
Yeah.
Everybody give me a spot hidden.
What's the light source back here, by the way?
It's just from the moon. There's a moonlight that it's
pass.
I got an 82. I didn't pass.
I made it.
Yeah, I failed.
Yeah, hard success.
So you start wandering around, and those who make a spot hidden, you notice in the towards the back of where you came in, almost like on the opposite side, there is a little bench, a wooden bench, and as you get closer, you can see a shadowy figure sitting in it. As you
sitting, right?
Sitting, and as you get as you get closer, you see it's a woman, and she's wearing these multicolored robes. And she's just kind of sitting there, just staring at the water.
I'll go up and sit next to her.
Priest Celia, is that you?
She kind of snaps out of her trance and looks at you and says, "Yes, I'm Priestess Celia."
Yeah, we have a couple of questions.
Oh.
Yeah, we want to know what's going on in this place. We find everything here really weird.
This is the hot springs. This is where I worship.
Not specifically the hot springs. I mean, Red Valley as a whole looks like a really weird place.
Oh, it's not weird. This is a wonderful thing that's happening. Have you been outside of the valley where it's all cold, and we've been blessed here with
exactly. It makes no sense.
Well, it doesn't have to make sense. Miracles don't have to make sense. We're being blessed. The god Apollo has blessed us, and by making it warm, by making the sun shine brighter than it ever has.
I was told you're worshipping a stone. Is that right?
No, the stones allow us to worship through them. They're conduits.
Oh, okay, I see. Is it okay if I borrow these stones to worship as well? I feel like I should also connect to Apollo.
She kind of looks at you and gives you this kind of unsure glance. She says, "No, I am the only one who may hold the stone. But if you would like to hold my hand, you can worship through it." And she holds out her hand to you.
And then I try to touch her hand, but I'm really cautious. I don't hold her hand. I just keep my finger on her so I can pull away if I need to. And
as soon as your finger touches her, you start to feel that almost electricity and warmth that you had before when you were holding that person that was in the circle down by the cottages. You immediately just start to see this brightness shining out of her other hand in the dark from whatever she's holding, the stone that she's holding. And it's not like a glowing, it's just a very bright sunlight almost, and it feels so wonderful and warm to you. Give me a power roll.
Does anybody else see this?
Nope.
Yeah. Okay.
No, everybody else sees Butch just kind of tentatively.
It's a critical failure. 96. Oh.
So you're holding her hand, and you can just feel this warmth coming through you. Give me 1 second. Oh crap!
I've wandered back over and found you all.
Give me a D6 roll, Butch.
Yeah. 4.
You said 4?
Yeah.
As you're holding her hand, or touching her, actually everybody else sees him first tentatively hold her hand, or tentatively touch her hand, and then he grasps her hand, holding it tightly. And Butch, as you do this, you start to fall into yourself, and you feel this warmth grow even more inside of you, and you can kind of feel your body just growing and glowing, and you can feel the warmth, and it feels so good you don't want to let it go. and you start to come to this. Conclusion, or you get it in your mind that the sun itself, you start to become convinced that the sun's existence is that of a living god of ancient origins. You don't know how you know this, but you can almost see this in your mind. Go ahead and give me a sanity check.
Yeah, I pass.
All right, then take a D3 insanity.
Can I try to run forward and break their connection?
Sure. How are you going to do that?
I'm going to grab their hands and pull them apart and then let go.
Okay.
I'm afraid of it. Whatever.
You go ahead and do that. Go ahead and at least give me a dex roll.
Okay. 55 out of 55.
Okay. So you run at them and you just kind of, break through them, and, for an instant you feel that too. You feel that warmth, but the momentum of you going through them kind of breaks their connection. And immediately, Butch, you snap back out of it. You're not even sure how long you had been, doing that. You kind of lost yourself in the entire moment. To everybody else, it was like maybe 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Peter, you just kind of you're going so fast that you hit them and you just knock the bench over.
Right. Well, I didn't want to knock them over, but I do want to break their connections.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you absolutely did. Priestess Celia kind of stands up, looks at all of you, and says, "What is your issue? Why are you doing this? Do you not believe?" And she looks at Butch and says, "You felt it, didn't you? You saw what I saw. You saw the truth."
I look into Butch's face and I say,
I get
radiation.
Whose truth?
She just kind of looks at Butch and says, He knows what the truth is. All of you not.
At this point, I bend over and I whisper to Peter so that he hears it, but the priest just doesn't hear it. I whisper to him, I think we should, once we're done talking to her, we should steal her stone and run away.
Whose truth? Because you've got the Presbyterians over there, and they have a stone, and they believe in their truth. And you have this other group, and they have a stone, and they believe in their truth. So whose truth are we talking here?
She says, I don't know how to respond to that. She's starting to get, more angry. And as she starts to get a little more angry, you can actually see the stone that she's holding start to not brighten, but just start to you see almost like little crackles of light going through it.
Relax. No one here is going to hurt you. We're just trying to come to some kind of conclusion as to what's going on. I don't suppose psychology is going to help me in this.
I asked, where did you get the stone from? Where did the stone manifest itself from?
Says, well, if you must know, I bought it.
You bought it?
Yes, you can buy them here. I'm surprised that you haven't figured that out. Just go
buy it from.
Just go to the Shining Saul store. They'll sell them to you. There are other vendors in town that have them as well.
Where do they get it from?
I don't know. You'll have to ask them. And
so it's just a normal rock you bought at the store.
It's not normal.
You realize that other people are not worshiping Apollo, right?
Well, they're worshiping false gods then, aren't they?
But all the stones are the same, but all the gods are different. Why does your god... Why is Apollo the true one? How do you know that?
Because I can feel him speaking through me.
They all can. Everyone. I felt the warmth in the other people's church too. Even their stone had the same warmth. So are all gods talking to other people?
I guess, I don't know. I only interpret the messages that I receive. And, well, obviously you need to go on your own journey to find this. If you want to come back tomorrow morning when the sun has come out and is basking us in its glory, you can find me here. Otherwise, excuse me. And she starts to walk around the pond.
Priestess, I'm sorry. Does Apollo manifest himself physically to you? Have you seen the god Apollo?
But then she stops and looks around and says, I've seen many things through my worship in the stone. He will manifest. He will physically come here. I don't know when, but soon.
And did you know about Apollo before you came to Red Valley? Were you long a worshiper? Were you brought here because of that worship? I can try a charm roll if it'll help.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
No. 74 for 60.
And she says, all of you, she kind of waves her hand, all of you needs to go on your own journey to find what you're looking for, to find the answers. I can't give them to you, and you're obviously not willing to listen to the truth. So I would tell you, go and find it on your own. And
should we buy our own stones?
She says, that is up to you.
Look at Butch. Now we've been in his company for some time now, so we know to the level that his tan had been. Is his tan stronger now?
No, it's about the same.
Help me out here, some of you guys that have brains.
Well, let's leave this place, go back and get some food, and we'll talk about it over dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm famished.
And as we walk up the trail, Butch, don't you ever rush into things again.
Yeah, as he's saying that, I'm still obsessed about the stone I just held, and I really want to get a piece of that stone. So I start following Priestess Celia, and I see if I can snatch the stone from her hand.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna grapple with him.
If he starts to walk off, we're just gonna punch him.
No, just grab him and pull him.
Yeah, I try to run towards the priestess, and I dive towards her stone that she's holding, with an intention of tackling her, grabbing the stone, and running away.
He don't get that far. There's 4 of us.
Yeah, we're gonna try to.
And I'm pretty strong, so yeah.
All right, well then, Butch, go ahead and roll, I guess, Dex, and whoever is.
I'm going to punch him in the face.
I pass.
Punching people in the face actually kill them.
Regular success.
I rolled a 14 to try and grab his arm.
I got a half success, not a critical, but a hard.
All right, so Butch, Butch, what's your dexterity?
70.
Does anybody have the same or higher?
Dexterity? No, I don't have that high of a dexterity. However, keep in mind, there's 4 of us. He can't dodge all of us.
I have an 80 dex and rolled an extreme.
Oh, you rolled an extreme success?
I rolled a 14. I was just trying to grab him by the arm. Like, right, hey, buddy, hold on. Wait, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking he was under control or obsessed with, like, it's weird that he's taking off running. So I'm just, like a snap reaction, like not fighting, just to grab him by the bicep.
So Butch, yeah, you start to take off for Priestess Celia. She's just, completely not paying attention to you and going. And you get, pretty close to her when Odie just grabs your arm and kind of pulls you back and says, hey, wait a minute. What are you doing? And he got a hold of you pretty well that it stops you.
Yeah. I snap out of it, but I'm really angry at Odie. I'm like, do you ever pull me back when I'm trying something?
I let him go. I'm like, listen, if you need something taken, talk to me about it. Don't snatch and grab.
But you're acting like you're on drugs.
No, I'm not. I'm fine. What do you mean drugs?
I mean, you're acting like you're suddenly addicted to something. Maybe this thing that they're doing is addictive.
Whatever it is, we need to get a hold of that stone. I think it has something.
Well, she said you can buy them in the store.
Yeah, I think we need to find the store, but I don't think the store will be open now. We should probably check out the Sunshine Cottage next. Or yeah,
we
that's
need
where we
to
should
find
go.
out what the source of these things is. Where are they getting these stones from? All right, and we're going to march you back and get you some food, but we've kind of got a hold of you. Okay.
Yeah, maybe a little food will help straighten you out. And I think if we do buy a stone, you're not going to be the one to touch it first because you seem a little stone crazy.
I don't want.
What do you mean stone crazy? Come on, there's no such thing.
Don't make me punch you.
Oh yeah, we'll see about that. Huh? You think you're so tough? Yeah. Okay.
No.
I crap breakfast stronger than
Guys,
you.
keep in mind that we've not only lost Susan, we've lost Daniel now too, and Oscar.
Right.
So let's get some food and try to think straight. We think it's 9 o'clock at night, but as far as we know, we've been awake for 30 hours.
It could also be 9 o'clock at night for the next 3 days, for all we know.
Well,
Judging by everybody's tan, I'd say no. I'd say that they have summer hours. I mean, in the summertime, it gets about dark about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So that makes sense. I mean, for that aspect of it.
Except that it was daytime way longer than it should have been. So it could also be nighttime way longer than it should be.
Well, let's just say the nights are a little shorter or regular, but the days seem to keep going on and on. People were staying outside,
We don't know
and then
one way or the other.
they ate like crazy. So if I was outside in the sun for 15 hours in a day, at the end of the day, I'd be starving. People had food on their chest and all that stuff. And they said, I'm sorry, the diner gets busy at sundown.
If I can get clear of the trees for a couple minutes, I want to look it up at the sky, the night sky, and see if it at all looks familiar. Do I see
we should be able to see Cassiopeia right now.
Cassiopeia and Orion and the Big Dipper and...
Yeah, so you get through the woods, through the stone path, and you kind of go back into the clearing in front of the hotel, and you look up into the sky, and yeah, it looks like the winter night sky.
No moon?
Yeah, there's a moon. There's probably, there's a half moon out, enough to shed light on everything, to illuminate everything.
This is damn strange.
Yeah, that's not right.
I'm just kind of glad we broke Butch's connection when we did. Butch, you were on your way down the rabbit hole.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, you should know what we're talking about because you're a rational individual. Use your head.
I am. I don't know what you're talking about. I think there's something with the stone, and I think we need to investigate said stone and get to the bottom of this and worship Apollo. We're supposed to find out what it's about.
And 5 minutes ago, Butch, you were about to tackle a woman to take a stone out of her hand. That's not rational.
She seemed evil.
She's just a woman who's as deluded as everybody else in this town.
Including Susan.
Okay, let's
deluded
just
and powerful.
So we're eating and we're talking about this.
So if anybody has anthropology or archaeology, go ahead and give me a roll.
All right. Hard pass. I got 10 out of 65.
Oh, wow.
Actually, that's
critical.
Yeah.
So as you're sitting there, kind of eating, you glance over and you see the wine glass that the woman you were talking to before had, and all of a sudden it hits you. You had this nagging feeling that you remember her from somewhere, You finally remember that, you remember her name being Rebecca something, you think, Rebecca, but you remember her seeing her give a talk a couple years ago on modern archaeology methodologies.
Rebecca something. She's an archaeologist. I suddenly remember who she is. Translator.
So when I asked her if she had always worshipped Apollo, the answer might have been yes.
Not Priestess Celia. This is the
woman that was drinking the wine
on the porch.
I'm going to walk over to the register, and I mean not the cash register, the
book.
Sign-in
the
log.
book for the hotel, and see if there's a Rebecca somebody. See if I can get a last name.
It takes you a minute to kind of go through it, but you do find that it was a room was registered to a Rebecca Newman.
And what's the date?
There is no date next to it. Actually, give me a spot hidden too,
Okay.
or actually no. Give me an idea roll.
Idea roll. 27. Yeah, that's.
So you don't see any dates next to it. However, you notice two things. The first is that there really aren't any dates next to any of the names going back to almost November. It looks like around sometime in November. That's when they stopped putting dates into the hotel register.
Okay.
You notice that right next to Rebecca's name is another room rented out to a Jason Taft. And the only reason you kind of notice it is it's kind of written in the same ink of the pen, almost like they were written at the same time.
What rooms are they in?
They are rooms 8 and 9, which, as you've seen, the numbering, they're on the second floor.
Okay.
Now, I was going to say, Mason, we're kind of like two sides of the same coin. You're a private detective and I'm a private criminal. So we could kind of like use two different angles on this.
Tyler, you said that 8 and 9 are on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
Is this hotel that small?
Yeah. This is like a old farmhouse that's been converted into a hotel.
There aren't any rooms on the first floor, on the ground floor, right?
No.
There's kitchen, reception, and
there is one bedroom, but that's where the people who own it.
The tenants, yeah, okay.
Now, Mason, like I was saying, she seems to be the only other one that has her own mind in this town. And why would you stick around? Yeah, she's waiting for her boss to do some work, but if she's the only able-bodied mind in this town, there's some reason behind it. If I could sneak into the room, or you could sneak into the room, or together we could tag team it, we could figure,
I like where you're going with this generally, but I think I want to talk to her first tomorrow before we alienate her by getting caught in her silk drawer.
That's why I figured I'd bring it up to you, because
whatever we do, we should do right now, because tomorrow's not going to come, friend. Tomorrow's just not going to come.
No, these people are in love with the sun. Tomorrow's going to come soon. And hard.
I'm actually kind of miffed at that. They're always trying to break into places. I stand up, I dust myself off, I put my handkerchief there, and I'm going to go knock on her door.
Okay, so
that's honorable.
You go up, you knock on her door, and you hear a voice from the other side go, yes, who is it?
I'm sorry, Miss Newman. We met outside. I didn't realize who you were until just now.
Oh, okay.
I heard you speak back in something.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can you hold on, and she kind of you can hear her, like a chair scrape against the floor as she stands up. You can hear her walk across the room and unlock the door and just kind of open it slightly, and look at you and say, "I'm sorry, what did you say?"
I was privileged to hear you speak. I actually studied archaeology myself. It was your lecture about I don't know what it was. But.
She goes, "Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, I was my my boss who I used to do a lot of work archaeological work for him or with him." And that's probably we were probably I was probably talking about one of our digs or something like that.
Well, I remember it quite fascinating. I hope we didn't get off onto the wrong foot before. I didn't recognize you, and it's funny that it just suddenly dawned on me who you were.
She says, "Oh, that's fine." And she says, I'm sorry. I've got a lot of work to do." A long night ahead of me, if you'll excuse me.
Of course, yeah. Maybe we could talk tomorrow.
So yeah, if you're around tomorrow evening, I'll probably stop around dinner time too. Once the sun goes down, I just don't really feel comfortable being out in the town during the day.
All right, thank you.
I jump in before the door closes. Yeah, I jump in before the door closes, and I keep my hand to the door. And I say,
"What do you mean you jump in?" No, I'm going to push you.
No. I don't. I just say, "Excuse me for a minute," and I hold the door open.
My friends are idiots, and
I have a legitimate question to ask her.
Ask her tomorrow.
So you're an archaeologist, right? Do you have any explanation?
Give me an intimidate roll.
Someone's going to get shot.
I succeed. Yeah, it's a hard success.
So what are you saying to her?
So I asked her, well, you're a professor of archaeology, so do you have any explanation for super hot rocks and where to find them? And
with that, she kind of, when you do that, she has this like almost brief look of fear on her face that you grabbed the door, didn't expecting you to do that. And you ask the question, and she kind of narrows her eyes a little bit, looks at you, and says, "No, I don't know where these stones are coming from." And then she, immediately her other hand goes up, pointing a gun right into your face.
Whoa!
She says, "But I do know where this came from. Now, if you'll excuse me, I would back off if I were you."
She pointed a gun at me.
And you tried to break into her room and assault her.
I didn't break into her room. I just kept my hand at the door before it closed.
I pull you away and I say, "You are going to get us thrown out of this hotel."
And as soon as you do, she slams the door shut, and you can hear it being locked.
I had her I was going to be able to talk to her. I'm pushing you down the stairs.
Peter, you did notice that, when Butch kind of grabbed the door, it opened up a little bit more, and you saw that her room was just a complete mess. On the walls, the desk, the floor, there were papers everywhere, and you did notice that while there was normal notebook sized papers, on the desk were a number of what looked like very old parchments.
Okay. I'm like, Butch, you should be ashamed of yourself. Get down.
I'm not ashamed of myself. I didn't do anything wrong. I just want to ask her another question, but you're always butting in.
Guys, I need your help.
Make me look stupid.
Let's take Butch out back for an attitude adjustment.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll give you an attitude adjustment.
Robert, you're not going to hit anybody.
Yeah.
Everybody just needs to calm down.
I take my flask out and I put it on the table.
I need a drink.
Here you go, Butch.
I take the flask and I chug it down in one fell swoop, and I throw the flask out.
You ever heard that saying, "You catch more flies or honey"?
Yeah, well, we've spread manure all over this one. She ain't gonna ever talk to us again. Good God, I had her talking.
I'll be back later.
Now you're trying to break into her room.
Robert, I got another bottle in my suitcase. Don't worry about it. I think we could all use a little nightcap.
Odie, stop giving him alcohol. He's already drunk on something.
No, I mean for Robert. He didn't get any.
So are you guys going to do anything else before you retire for the evening?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm typing.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go sit in the. I'm gonna take the opportunity to go get in the hot springs for a little bit.
Okay.
Just because I need to calm down.
I saw to grab Pete before he goes. I'm like, Pete, now that nobody's around, I just got to ask you a question. You remember I had the dog and I lost him in the poker game, and I've been looking all over and I don't see any dogs, and I see all these people talking about Alpo, and I used to feed my dog the Alpo, but I just don't get this. I don't want to ask in front of the other guys because I know they already think I'm stupid, but what's the connection with the dogs and the Alpo that everybody keeps talking about?
The dogs and the Alpo.
Everybody keeps talking about Alpo.
Alpo, I believe, is a brand of dog food.
Right, and that's what everybody keeps talking about here, and I'm kind of confused.
Okay, I'm really tired. I think I'm going to call it a night. I think I had too much alcohol, everyone. Good night. I'll meet you in the morning, and then I think I'm going to use the men's room, and then I walk out for a while. I'm going to go get some sleep.
Odie, and I grab sort of Odie in a friendly sort of manner and say, you're coming with me. Let's go get in the hot tub. Have we all forgotten about Oscar? Where the hell is Oscar?
Wait, who is Oscar?
Go to bed.
All right, so so Odie and Peter, you guys head back towards the hot springs. Hot springs are really nice. They're soothing.
I gotta get wet. Yeah.
It's Robert and Butch. Both of you give me spot hidden rolls.
I failed.
And for that matter, where is Mason?
He went to bed. Robert, did you make your spot hidden?
Jerry?
What?
Your name is Robert.
Oh! Oh yeah, I made it.
So, Robert, as you start, you go out the front door, start to walk down the street back towards town. You notice that there is somebody in kind of moving along the tree line along the street as well. You kind of realize that they're not doing it very well, and after a minute, you see that it's Butch.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, Butch is getting beat down.
Not me.
Butch is getting beat down. I charged straight for him. He's getting beat down.
I was trying to take a leak. I was standing there by the foliage, trying to piss against the wind to make sure it doesn't fall on me, and he knocks me over.
Oh yeah.
And there's tea everywhere.
You get up to him and you just knock him over.
What are you doing? Can't a man take a leak in the woods in peace? You monster.
Never mind, this is a block and a half away from the house.
There's a bathroom in the hotel.
I thought
if I can do it gently, I'm gonna rough him up a little bit and kick his ass all the way back to the hotel. If I can, he's going back unconscious.
What are you doing here? Are you also going to take the lead?
I'm not talking to him.
There's a bush right there. That's for you. This bush is for me. Let me do my business in quiet, person.
So I'll say that, yeah, Robert is able to push Butch back to the house, half jokingly, half seriously, making.
I ain't joking. He's not right in the head, man.
You get back to the hotel, and everybody, and by this time, Peter and Odie, you guys have come back from the hot springs. Everybody is just really exhausted. You've had a much longer day than you expect. You look at your watch, and it's about 11:30 at night. And I'm gonna say that everybody feels tired enough that they want to go to bed, unless anybody really feels.
Anybody got any handcuffs? Rope?
Oh, he's a grown man. What can you do? Rehab's going to be a bitch.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
We need to keep an eye on him. He's not right.
I was trying to piss. Can't a grown man piss in the forest in peace?
3 blocks from the hotel, we have bathrooms,
It was a good bush. It had my name on it. And I have no explaining to do. I was walking around, I was taking a stroll to catch the fresh air, and there you were tackling me. Don't you ever do that to me again. Don't you lay your hand on me one more time. I'm going to bash you up so bad. Your head's not going to fit. I'm going to fray your head so bad, you won't be able to fit your head through your shirt hole. And that's not even a threat. I could do that on my weakest day.
And with that, we'll say that everybody kind of falls asleep hearing them argue back and forth with each other.
And I go to bed too eventually.
Before you know it, you all wake up, and it's morning. The sun is out. It's shining. It's very bright.
Do we feel rested?
Yeah, I mean, as much as about 6 or 7 hours of sleep could do it. In fact, you look at your watch, your watches or clocks, whatever you have, and it says that it's about 6:30 in the morning.
Oh.
And the sun is just breaking?
No, the sun is out and it's brightly shining.
Like noonday sun already again?
Go check on Butch and make sure he's still in his bed.
Early, probably late.
I'm still in my bed.
Is what it looks like more to you.
Okay.
I stand at attention and I'm enthusiastic and I'm like, let's go to the cottage.
Tyler, I don't know if this is appropriate or works, but can I use psychology to see if he's kind of back to normal now or if he's still kind of
Who, Butch?
Yeah, Butch.
Sure, go ahead.
I made it, not by much, but I made it.
Butch, go ahead and give me a roll. Just tell me what you rolled.
I succeed.
Oh, no, what did you roll?
It's a regular. I rolled 50 on the dot.
Okay. Yeah, as far as you can tell, he seems to be acting, what you consider normal for him.
Don't make me mess you up.
Come on,
why are you telling things I should be telling to you? You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself, man.
All right.
Yeah, that rhymes. I better use that someday.
Our watches say that we're right on time, but the sun says that we've overslept.
Are we hungry?
Yeah, yeah, but normal, morning hungry.
I'm guessing the Bell and Whistle's going to be empty at this hour with the sun being up, or should we rush down?
Why don't we try another place to eat?
I think that's it for this little town.
No, there's a delicatessen.
There's a delicatessen called Evergreen, not too far from here.
Well, if you want pastrami and liverwurst for breakfast.
Ooh, my favorite.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll just eat here. I mean, we're here already.
Shirley's probably fixed us breakfast.
Oh, right. There's been food here. Sure.
Now, the question is, do they have food? Before,
Yeah,
they made food for a limited period of time.
Well, you go downstairs and you can smell coffee and basically see what amounts to almost like a continental breakfast. Some donuts, bread, and jam laid out, but nothing more extravagant than that.
Donuts.
Keeps the blood sugar up.
And as you look around, you don't see anybody around.
I'm still really confused about how this town has fresh food in it every day when nobody can get here through a blizzard.
But it's a resort town. They've surely stock up.
Yeah, it's a resort town, but it's February, and it's been weird since November.
But you have a lot of people coming in. Surely they brought more food in. If these people could get in, trucks can get in. We know this guy brought pews in a school bus.
Right, but he knew what was going on. I don't think there's a local dairy that knows there's a magical hot town where you can go and have summer in the middle of a blizzard. They'd bring the cows here. I'm just confused, that's all. I don't understand how this works.
I mean, you're right. I'm not arguing you're right, but there is food here, so apparently...
Is there fruit? Or is it all baked goods?
It's all baked goods.
There's no grapefruit here.
No.
But there's dairy.
So what's on our agenda today?
A little bit.
I think we should go check out the Soul Store.
All right. Is that near the church? Because we were on our way to the church the last time.
Just down the street from the church.
So you remember that as you were walking along the front of or the road along the lake, you did pass it. It was the bakery, but it looked like the bakery at some point had closed down.
Let's talk just before we go. So far, what it seems is that various religious groups, and it's not unusual to find oddball religious groups in little towns like this, they seem to be getting a hold of these stones, and they are projecting their own religious beliefs onto whatever it's doing to their brains. And I think Butch knows firsthand the very powerful effect that the stone has. So I think we need to be very careful.
Yeah, here's what I think. I'm actually concerned at this point. They told us to come after evening, but right now it's day again. So the Sunshine Cottage, the people there might not welcome us. They might tell us to wait another time. This is why I went on and on about meeting those people yesterday night.
Well, whatever they do, we don't know what they're going to do until we go there. So,
and I think we have to remember that our concern here is Daniel and Susan. And we know that Susan is in the grips of some kind of mania or
the same religious delusion.
Yeah. I know where we can find Susan.
Do you think Susan? Yeah, do you think that? Do you think Susan could have kidnapped her own father?
I know where we can find Susan. Let's go see if her father's there.
Where do you think you're going to find Susan?
Where is
Susan
that?
will be in the same spot she was yesterday.
Why? It wasn't even her house.
Because they were worshiping there. If you follow the thing that's going on here, they all seem to be worshiping from sun up to sundown. That's why they're so disheveled. So she would probably be in the same location that we saw her in.
My guess is that they start their worshiping wherever they happen to be at the moment they start.
And they didn't stick around. She left us there.
In any case.
And went somewhere else.
The town's not that big. You're correct. She's somewhere here in this town just worshiping. But here's the thing. If she grabbed her father and roped him into this, then he's under the same delusion now that she is. And getting them, either one of them, to leave is going to be damn near impossible.
Now, I heard mention of a Deputy Marks also. Last person I usually seek out is a lawman, but it might come in handy in this case.
You do notice that there seems to be people in this town that aren't involved in this religious.
There's one person. There's only one person we found. There's only one person who can see through this.
Well, the fellow at the diner seemed not involved.
Right, and our tenants here don't seem involved.
And we have a couple neighbors here at the nest.
Not involved, but affected, because they don't know.
They're affected,
Yeah.
They just keep staring off into the space at the sun, thinking about things.
This is why we keep talking about maybe taking a little hiatus under the snow for an hour to see whether our brains make sense again. As far as I know, it's actually June. Because nobody here can tell anything.
Well, let's do what we need to do this morning. Maybe we can do that this afternoon. Let's head towards this Soulstone.
Yeah.
I want to know who's selling these things for sure.
And where they're coming from.
And maybe we
they're worth.
shut it down before it consumes more people.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd like to talk to Rebecca Newman.
Yeah.
But that relationship may be destroyed thanks to...
I think I should go apologize to her.
Well, I think you should stay the hell away from her.
Yeah, you should stay away from her. She might shoot you first.
Let's let it go a day before we make our apologies. All right, let's head out. Maybe we should try the snow thing. I don't know. I think I might be willing to go up there and stay in the snow overnight. I'm really sick and tired of this town.
I think we should check out the dealer first.
Yeah.
As a group. And then, because there's no reason to go up into the hills really until night.
Shall we just walk?
Perhaps. Yeah, I think we should stay on foot.
Yeah.
It's more flexible. It's a crowded town. Hey, does it look more crowded now than it did when we got here?
So you start walking, from the hotel back towards the lake because you saw the Soul store, the Shining Soul store along the Franklin Avenue, which is along the lake. And as you start going up, you do see that there do seem to appear to be more cars crowding the streets. There are definitely more people. From what you saw yesterday, a lot of people along the beach, a lot of people along the river, but pretty much everywhere you're starting to see people just congregating wherever they can find a spot in the grass to lay down or sit and do whatever. You do see a number of people or a number of tents that have kind of popped up in people's yards. Not just kind of haphazardly. They almost look like they are shelters that somebody threw up just so that they would have something to sleep under at night. But you get go along down Boardwalk Street, up Franklin Avenue, and you get to right in front of the Shining Sol store. Like I said before, there's like a little sign in the window that says Shining Sol SOL Gifts. There above the door, you can kind of see where there used to be letters that said Sweet Home Bakery. And in fact, you can still, even standing outside, you can still smell like the remnants of baking bread.
Go in.
You go to try the door, and it's locked.
They're closed. They only open at night.
Is there a time that they open and close on the door?
You don't see any hours or anything like that. The curtains on the windows are pulled shut, and there's doesn't seem to be
evident shining light through them.
Say that again.
There's no light shining through the curtains.
No, it looks dark.
But they're glass windows.
You know what they say in my line of work, right? No shop is closed if your crowbar is big enough. So what do you say? Let's go check the place out.
I say it's at least circling the block and seeing if there's an alley and anything else we can learn about this place.
Yeah, we should probably walk around.
So as you kind of turn around and start to walk around, and again, there are people walking up and down the street right there as well. You see a man kind of smiling at you and pushing like a push cart towards you, a very, very large push cart. And he gets to be within about 10 feet of you as you start to walk around. He goes, so you can't get in there, huh? Yeah, you just missed the proprietor. He just left. But you know what? It's good for you. I've got anything that you need. What do you need? What do you need?
We would like one of those. We would like one of these mystical stones.
Mystical stones. Well, you know what? Bob Jenkins. That's me. I'm Bob Jenkins. I can get you anything you need. Do you need beads of honor, bracelets of calling, or those the most rare jet stones of the sun? And he starts wriggling his hands as he says that. Like, come over and look at all my wares. And
what's the cart look like? Is it glowing under the rags?
No. The cart is just like a push cart, a wooden push cart with some almost like shelves on it, and he just has like little knickknacks kind of all over it. You see some beads on there. You see a couple of metallic bracelets, and you see a whole row of stones that are about egg-shaped size.
And they're not glowing.
Say that again?
They're not glowing, the stones.
You don't see them glowing, but then again, you didn't see the others, really glowing either. They were kind of, shining. The others that you saw shine and glint in the light, but these, from what you can tell, aren't.
Well, okay, gentlemen, I think we have to make sure. Number one, Butch doesn't touch one. Number two, we should buy one. Bargain this guy down because I think he's a crook. And we shouldn't touch it ourselves. We should wrap it in something and then perform some cautious experiments. Right? Pick it up with an oilcloth?
Nah, I think they're safe. I don't think this guy's got the real stones.
I'm gonna be walking around the cart with him and spot hiddening just to see if there's anything weird or suspicious.
He's obviously homeless.
I wanted to keep an eye on him with my skill, like my whatever, either spot hidden, sleight of hand, psychology, just my thieving, or just feeling this guy out. Is this guy legit? Is he bullshitting us?
Okay, go ahead and roll psychology. Peter, you're kind of walking around and he's kind of pointing out all this stuff to you and, saying all this, just describing how great it is. And, this thing is, he kind of points to a bracelet and says, this was the bracelet from the Raja of India who gave it to me personally. And I'm willing to make a deal for you and only you. Odie, did you make it?
31 out of 40, and I want to call him on this bullshit right now.
I just rolled an 04 for my 60 psychology.
Yeah, you can, all of you who made that can tell that, he is, a salesman at heart, and he is just trying to push his stuff on you, making up whatever he can for it.
Does he seem daft too, though?
No.
He's a believer in something?
Not that you can see.
Do you know the name of the
proprietor? Other than the almighty dollar. Say that again?
I asked him, do you know the name of the proprietor of the shop?
Oh,
you say he just left.
Arnie, I think his name was. Arnie Simpson. He was a great friend of mine. He even told me how to get the stones that everybody here wants. So I am an official vendor of Arnie's. So if he's not here, so you can just buy them from me.
So I step up. And I tell him, listen, buddy, I was born at night, but not last night. Look at those two meatheads behind me. They'll tear you a fucking apart. Cut the bullshit and tell me the truth. What do you got here? Anything that's not garbage? And I look back at Butch and Robert. And I go, really, buddy? Take a good look.
Go ahead.
Think about what you're going to say before you open your mouth one more time. And I have my switchblade is in my hand.
I pull out my brass knuckles that I have in my pocket, and I'm not even intimidated. I'm just like polishing it and I'm dusting it off.
Think really hard. Choose your next words very carefully. Tell me the truth. What do you got here?
He says, I can see you are men of discriminating tastes, and for that, my wares are probably not up to your standards. Okay. So I'm going to go down the road to the nice couple over there and see if they're interested. And he just
kick rocks, buddy. Kick rocks.
He gets behind it and starts pushing, and he gets about 5 feet away from you. You can hear him calling out to another couple that's down the road.
All right.
Now, just go with Mason's gut here. Keep an eye. I mean, we're not searching. We just want to keep eyes on the thing. If you've got more people coming here, they're sooner or later going to run out of food. So just kind of look for things like delivery trucks that might be coming through and so forth and so on to verify that they are getting outside supplies.
Wait, if there are outside supplies, we should check the gas station. I mean, people have to refuel at the gas station. So maybe if we ask someone there, they can tell us how many trucks come and go and what are in those trucks.
That's
this
really
town
smart, Butch.
Also, real quick.
The thing is, this town is so crowded. They see thousands of people coming and going. What's the odds that they're going to remember anybody?
Nobody's going.
And I tell him before the guy leaves, I'm like, buddy, just give me one of them pretty stones.
Actually, it's a good question. Have we seen people driving at all in this town, or are they just all walking down to the beach?
Most of the people you see are walking. Every once in a while, you'll see a car drive by, but as soon as they can find a parking spot, and some of those parking spots are just kind of in the middle of the road, they get out of their car and just head off to wherever they're.
I mean,
we haven't actually seen anybody leaving the town.
No,
let's use common logic. If you are driving around in a small town and it's crowded and you have to fight tooth and nail to find a parking place, are you going to get in that car and drive down the block and give up your parking place when the town is small enough you could walk? I can't see someone giving up a parking place. So most likely most people are walking.
Yeah, so
I'm guessing
that's a good idea.
Yeah, just people who are coming here to deliver food have to refuel here. I mean, they have no other way. And there's only one gas station by the looks of it. So we just asked the people, have there been big trucks delivering food? Yeah.
Would have to go there.
Yeah, Odie.
So I want to just tell that guy, give me one of those stones, buddy. Nothing fancy, just one of the stones. Take it. Have a nice day. I just walk. What?
As he's pushing away, he kind of hears you say that, and he looks around and reaches over, grabs one of them, and tosses it to you, and says, "Just tell him that you got this from old Bob Jenkins."
I walk over to Mason. I said, Mason, you know this is bullshit, and I know it's bullshit, but everybody else doesn't, and I hand it to you. We'll come up with an idea for this at some point. We got a stone.
What's it look like? Is it shimmery? Is it a rock?
Like obsidian?
It's a black. Well, give me a. Do you have geology?
I don't, but I've got science.
Yeah, I have natural world a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead and give me
chemistry is my best.
Geology or chemistry would work, or natural world.
13. I passed.
So you Peter, you look at it. You kind of take it, and it looks very. It's a black rock. And with like little gold pinstripes going along it. But as you look at it a little closer, it almost looks like that the black is painted on, and the gold stripes are also painted on to the rock.
It's freaking paint. I toss it back over to Gilman, to Odie.
Yeah, but Mason, hang on to this. You're the most level-headed. At some point, we're going to need to bullshit somebody that we got our own stone.
He's making it look like the stone, so he knows what they look like.
Yeah, at least that. I'm going to take a handkerchief out and wrap that little baby up and slip it in the pocket. Who knows? It's shaped like an egg, more or less?
Yeah, it's about egg-sized. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And also, it's not like faceted. It's roughly round.
Right.
Like a river stone or something, maybe.
Exactly.
Guys, long shot, but there's also a gallery of the eye, and they sell beads and trinkets and stuff like that. We might be able to find something there.
Yeah.
Let's try it. Let's walk up there.
Well, so are you guys going to go up that way, or were you going to continue with your plan to kind of go around back of Shining Solid Gifts?
No, we're not breaking in the broad daylight.
But I'd like to see what the back of this looks like. Yeah, it's a really preoccupied town. What are they going to say? We broke in at 11 a.m., 1 p.m., Tuesday, September. They don't even know.
So you at least walk around in the back.
I want to check it out. I want to see whether it's barred. I want to see whether there's activity.
So you go around back, and it's basically like an empty yard, and there all you see on the back side of the building is just a staircase. It's a short staircase leading up to a back door.
Well, I don't suggest we break in.
I'm going to go up the staircase, though.
But if we do decide to break in, it used to be a bakery. It's not got top-notch security.
Right. Odie, I am going to keep a lookout. I'll do a whippoorwill. If
I'm with Peter.
All right. You want me to check it out, or who? Mason, you were going to check it. Who was going?
I'm happy to go up those stairs. It's not like they're barred. It's just stairs. I could look at a window.
We got to find Oscar too.
So you walk up the stairs, and it's only like 2 or 3 stairs to a small back porch, and you get to the door, and it's a back door with a window on it. You try the doorknob, and it's locked.
And the window, there's a window in the door with a curtain.
Yes.
And there's a window in the back wall too with a curtain, or just a blank wall. Yeah,
there's a window in the back wall. The curtain's pulled, but it's not pulled completely closed, so you can kind of glance in, and you see that the back window leads into probably what was once the bakery, the baking kitchen. It seems like a large room. You see an oven there, but then you also see a doorway to the front, and it looks like it opens up into a large room, and you see what looks like a countertop in there, a glass countertop in there.
Okay, so can I see even light through the window of the storefront? Like, is it a straight shot where I get a sense of light going all the way through?
Yeah, you can see ambient light coming through, and you can kind of make out part of the front door.
Yeah, and it looks real empty.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to lean over the railing of the little stairwell and tell my compatriots, it looks like we've got a clear shot at entry here if we want to do it. And it might be best to do it during the day while all the freaks are out worshiping. Anybody want to go in?
Yeah, I'll walk up with you. But before we do this, I want to take a chance and feel out around the top of the door if there's a doormat. On the windowsills, people always leave a key somewhere.
People think magnets are magic. It's crazy.
You know what? Give me a luck roll.
29 out of 70.
So you feel around the top of the door. You don't feel anything up there, but when you open up there's like a little doormat there. Once you lift that up, you do see a key.
I go, abracadabra, Mason.
And I rolled a 9 for 60, by the way. So wasted. I'll want that 9 later. Okay. Who wants to stay outside and who wants to look around?
I'll go in, will you?
All right.
I'll go in.
Uh-oh, there's a car.
All right, so the three of you go in. Peter and Robert, are you both just kind of keeping watch then?
Yes.
Keeping a watch on Butch.
I'm at a place.
Well,
I'm not
Butch is going into the house. Are you going into it?
Butch is not going into the house.
Apparently he is, because I'm way over here at a corner where I can see in all directions.
He's not going into the house.
If I can see anybody going
all right. Odie and I found the key. When Butch said, I'm coming too, are you going to grab him? Because otherwise I think he's going to come in and try to get his hands on the stuff.
No, actually, I think if you talk to me, I'll probably, decide against any violent course of action and just stay back here.
All right. Two of us will go inside in case the joint. We'll bring you in if we need more. Sound good?
Okay. One of you guys go down on the other end of the alley so that you can see if somebody's coming that way.
I would be happy if somebody could go around the front of the shop, too.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll keep watch from the front.
That would be
and
helpful.
I'll do the whistle.
Okay.
Yeah, let him go around the front. I'll go around to the other side.
Okay.
As long as it's not in the backyard.
So the two of you then go in to the back door. We'll get to.
We've got flashlights, and we've got experience looking around places that we've never been before.
Yeah, there's enough light kind of filtering in the windows. The shades don't completely block out the light, so that there's enough in there that you can see. You walk into the back door, and like you saw through the window, it kind of opens up into what was probably the baking kitchen, and you're immediately hit with the smell of baked goods, even though
Yeast, flour.
Exactly.
How many ovens are there?
There's two kind of larger ovens.
I'm going to pop those doors open to see if there's empty racks in there or something more exciting.
They're all empty racks.
Any residual heat?
No.
Okay.
So the way it's laid out is the room you're in is the old kitchen. There is an entryway that leads into the front, the storefront, and you also see some stairs off to the side that go up.
Okay, so let's check out the storefront and then go upstairs. What do you say?
Yep, I agree.
Okay, so you walk into the storefront, and you can see that it's basically one large room. There are a couple of glass cases that kind of separate half the room from the back where the employees would be in the front.
These are like jewelry cases?
Exactly.
Not things on the wall, but
no.
Yeah, counters with shelves underneath them.
Exactly. When you look at the shelves, you can see that there are white handkerchiefs, kind of like every foot or so within the shelves themselves. And however, they're empty. There's nothing on them. Although you do see indentations in the middle of the handkerchiefs. The indentations are probably about egg-shaped.
And how many of these empty cloths are sitting here? How many new religions do we have?
Well, you see about a dozen. Are
there any drawers to pull?
There is a drawer. When you pull it, you see that there's a lockbox in there.
Odie, have a look at this.
Like a portable lockbox?
Yes.
Like how heavy is it?
It's actually not that heavy. Maybe like 5 or 6 pounds.
Okay. Is there...
In your line of work, this looks like a portable money box.
I was thinking that. Let's go grab a bag of flour, dump it out, throw this bad boy in there, take a quick look upstairs, and beat feet and get out of here.
Okay. Yeah, if you'll
pick the lock.
I'm not. That's one skill I don't have. I just want to go around the counter into the main space and do a further tour to look for any signs of several things. How recently it looks like it was open? Is the floor dusty? Are there footprints?
No, there's no dust on the floor. There's no footprints. It looks like it's been fairly well kept up.
And the other side of the counter, there's no other signs of merchandise.
No. The only places that you see that there was merchandise are where these like handkerchiefs were.
And these are white cotton things?
Yep.
I'm going to grab a couple and shake them out. I'm going to take a couple.
Okay.
Can't hurt.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
and there's nothing shakes loose or anything.
Okay.
And there's no cash register?
No, but Odie did find the
lockbox. And there's no there are no books evident.
No, not
log book in the back.
Does it look like there's a basement or just a second floor?
No, you just see the stairs going up.
All right.
And I'm going to shake the box a little, very lightly. Does this sound like there's coin or stones maybe?
You do hear coins, and you hear something shifting around, which again, from your line of work, sounds like there's cash in there.
Okay.
Do you want to leave that downstairs and keep your hands free when we go up?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. And also, Mason, if there are stones in here, it's probably better that it is locked until, you know what I mean? Like we don't want everybody's hands grabbing. I don't know what they are, but I get the bad juju from it. So
yeah. Well, we've seen some weird behavior.
All right, so I'm gonna sneak up the stairs. I want to take a look too, make sure there's nothing. Like I don't want to disturb anything, basically.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're easily able to get around. It honestly looks like the downstairs is not used for very much. I mean,
and I'm happy to try stealth going upstairs.
All right, go ahead.
Squeaky stairs.
Oh.
9 for 40, so I'm good.
I missed it by 1 point, so I hear a little creak on the...
Yep, Mason starts going up the stairs without a problem. Odie, you get about halfway up, and you just hear this, big creak as you just kind of stepped on the wrong stair.
And we freeze.
Yep, you freeze. And shifting to the guys in that are keeping lookout. Mm-hmm. All of you give me spot hidden rolls.
The ones on the outside too?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I succeed.
Barely. I made it.
I barely succeeded.
Okay.
I got a hard success.
58 out of 60.
So you're looking around and just kind of keeping a watch, and there are people walking up and down the road. Every once in a while somebody passes in front of the store. Really, they don't, they may look at you and smile, but they just kind of keep going, just, minding their own business, and really just seem infatuated with, just the nice weather that you're having. And after a while, you just start kind of scanning along, the town, because nobody seems to be paying attention to you. And you notice that, along the beach, there's lots of people just kind of laying around, but you also notice a fairly large group that are just kind of gathered, maybe about 20 feet off where the pier ends. And, while the beach is just covered with people, there's probably a group of like 40 people or so that are just kind of, bunched up together. Definitely look like they're around each other, and it almost looks like they're kind of encircled around somebody.
Does it look like they're holding hands?
It's hard to tell from as far away as you are, but yeah, they could definitely be doing that.
So
are they out of the place yet? Are they still inside the bakery?
They're still inside.
Yeah. I make a sign to Robert, since he's within shot of my vision. And I say, I'm going to go check something out for a second. Keep watching. So I'm going to stroll over towards the pier. And as I walk around the front and I see Butch, I say, stay here for a minute. I'm going to go check something out on the pier over there.
Okay. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I say, okay, I'll stay here, but I'm getting really fidgety. I'm like, what's taking them so long?
Okay. Peter, you start, going along the pier, and, it's a good, 2 or 3 minute walk, but the closer you get to that, to the end of the pier, you can, see more of what's going on. It is definitely a large group of people, probably about 40 people, just kind of encircled around somebody else, holding hands. And as you get closer, you can see that the person, because you're a little bit higher from, the pier is obviously above the beach.
Sure.
As you get closer, you can see that the people that they're encircled around looks like they have a police officer's uniform on.
Well, I'm going to walk onto the pier and start heading in that direction. I'm starting to wonder, is somebody hurt? And they're all looking.
Give me another spot hidden roll.
72. No, I can't tell what's going on yet.
No, as you get closer, there's just too many people surrounding them, too many people on the beach for you to get a clear idea. But you do get the impression that they're not, that nobody's hurt. That that's not what the crowd seems to be doing. The crowd just kind of seems to be, standing around this person, and you can definitely see it the closer you get that they're all holding hands.
Well, I don't want to touch anyone, but if I get up on my tiptoes, can I see over people's shoulders who's in the middle?
You kind of get up on your tiptoes, and it's hard to see with everybody there, but you definitely see somebody with a police uniform on, and they're kind of standing there, and at one point they kind of turn around. It seems like they may be saying something. It's kind of hard to hear over everybody on the beach, but as they turn around, you can see that they may be wearing the police shirts, but it's like unbuttoned. So that it's a man. It's unbuttoned. The sleeves are rolled up, looking much more casual than you would expect a police officer to look.
Okay. Thinking that the police officer is now roped into all of this as well. If there's anything around me, like something that a bench or something that I could step up on to get an even better, higher view, I want to do that just to see to see what the hell's, if what I think is happening is happening.
There's no free bench, but the railing along the boardwalk that you're on, you could definitely step on. The boards on the railing themselves are probably about 8 or 9 inches wide.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you get up there, and you can kind of you definitely get a better view at this point, and you can see that everybody is encircling this police officer, and seems to be talking. And as he is, you can see that he's holding something in one hand, and his hand is going from person to person, just kind of going grazing along all the people that are encircled around him.
All right, I'm gonna climb back down and start walking back.
Okay. With that,
could I hear anything that he was saying?
No. Well, give me a listen roll.
37 out of 60.
Even with that, you can every once in a while you can kind of make out one word or two, but nothing that really makes sense to you.
Did I sort of feel like it once again has that sort of religious quality, like he's preaching to them?
Yeah, you do get that feeling just based off of the way that everybody is acting.
All right, so I'm going to head back.
Okay.
And I see Butch first, so when I go, I'll just walk up to Butch and I'll say, apparently the town deputy or sheriff or something is now part of this whole religious bonanza, and he's out there with a bunch of people.
You mean that by the dock, huh?
Yeah, over there. And I'm going to go back to my spot.
Okay. So we'll shift back over to Mason and Odie. You're going up the stairs. Odie, you step on that step. It makes a big creak, and you both just freeze. Both of you give me listen rolls.
No.
36 for 50.
All right. So Odie, you don't hear anything. Mason, you kind of freeze, and you just really start to buckle down and listen.
I'm going to shoot a hand back toward Odie. I think I was going up first. Is that right?
And you don't hear anything. And in fact, you would have expected that if somebody was in the house, you would have at least heard shuffling or something like that. And you don't hear anything. You become convinced that you both are alone in the house.
Okay. Deep breath, and then I'm going to scuttle up the stairs.
Okay.
Is there a door at the top, or is it just open into a space?
There is a door, but it's open, and it opens up into this basically one-room bedroom. It's very sparsely furnished. You see a bed and a desk and a dresser, but really not much more than that. You see some clothes in the dresser is kind of half pulled out. You see some clothes there, but there's really not much there except for on the desk is a very large parchment that spans almost all of the desk. It looks very old, and right next to the desk you see a ceramic basically carrying tube.
Ceramic carrying
tube.
tube. I don't know what that is. A ceramic carrying tube.
Like you would put a poster in?
Yes.
But ceramic?
Yes.
Interesting. So, and the tube looks big enough to hold the parchment?
Yes, it does. It definitely could.
If it were rolled up.
Give me both of you. Give me spot hidden rolls too.
That I passed. Basic pass.
7 for 50.
Nice.
Okay, so you notice two things as you're looking at this. You see that there is a on the parchment. It looks like somebody had been making notes on it. The parchment is in a language that you don't recognize.
Is it all text or is it text and image?
It's text, but the notes are in English.
Uh-huh.
And then you also see on some of the papers, there are some that are not monogrammed. Some of the stationery has the owner's name, and it says at the very top, like, from the desk of Arnold Simpson.
Okay, I'm sorry. So there's the parchment is rolled out, and then there are paper notes on top of it, and there are notes on the parchment, and there's also annotations on pieces of paper. Is that right? From Arnold Simpson?
Yes.
That name doesn't ring a bell, I assume.
Do either of you have archaeology?
Well, it was the name that the cart guy told us.
Believe it or not, I don't understand why I took it, but I do have a 21 in archaeology. I don't think that would...
That's because I talk to you all the time.
There we go, okay. Want me to make a roll? Or?
Yeah, go ahead.
16. I swear to God, I just...
So, you remember that there was a couple years ago, there was a famous pair of archaeologists that were going around and finding like these really great discoveries. You don't even remember why you know this, probably because at one point they found some essentially very valuable treasure, and that's probably what caught your mind for it. But Arnold Simpson and then another man named Denby Partridge were the two. You don't remember, what happened, except that about a year or so ago they split up for whatever reason.
All right.
So we should roll this up, put it in a tube, and take it away, right?
Yeah. Peter is always yapping in my ear, and I remember reading about these two guys, Artie and Denby Partridge, but they would go into like old tombs, but you know what intrigued me is that they always found treasure. So, we might have something here actually.
Well, this little town's got some treasure in it. I don't know if it's killing everybody inside or not. We'll find out, I guess, in a few months when the radiation sickness hits in. Anyway, usually I don't think there are apartments above bakeries because they're hot. So I assume everything in here looks kind of new.
For the most part, I mean, it's not, very new furniture. It's, probably been here for a while, but,
And the bed looks like it was slept in today, last night, a week ago. Again, dust.
Within the last day or two.
All right, we should get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Can you roll this up safely? You're good with, I understand, with taking care of valuable objects.
Yeah, I'll roll it up and put it into the ceramic tube.
I'm going to snoop around while he does that, and then we're going to hightail it. Okay,
you start looking around a little bit more. There's really not much else. Are you grabbing all of the notes too?
Yeah, everything
right up in there.
Okay. Everything on the desk, basically.
Basically, just a bunch of papers and the parchment are really all you find in here.
All right.
Is there toothpaste? Is there a bathroom? Is there tooth powder?
Yeah, there's whatever you would normally
There's
find.
A couple glasses. Is there a little hot plate or something? I'm trying to figure out how this person lives.
I mean, it seems like they live sparsely. You do find a glass for water or that, but you don't really find anything.
And there's nothing in here that suggests religiosity except for this parchment and the notes. There's no shrine. Correct. There's no cross. Okay. All right, dude, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And stash this shit somewhere.
We'll go back down, and I kind of take off. I've been wearing like a sports jacket and a button-down white shirt. I don't want to rip open the flour bag. I thought twice about it. I'm just going to wrap the box in my coat and hold it like if I'm holding my jacket.
Okay.
And maybe you want to do the same with the
tube?
The ceramic? Yeah.
Yeah. How long is the tube? This can be obvious in public?
It's about 3 feet long, about 5 or 6 inches in diameter.
There's no bread in here at all?
No.
I was going to say we could hollow out the bread.
3 foot long piece of bread.
No, a couple, like hold it and put some bread on top, like you're walking out with bread.
I wonder if it's, and maybe this is an idea roll, or I don't know, maybe it's worth taking down a curtain or something, or taking a bed sheet just to not be super obvious.
Pillowcase.
Well, 3 feet long.
I mean, we are tourists, so whatever we carry, people will just think we're tourists buying touristy stuff.
And everyone in this town is distracted.
Yeah.
Hide in plain sight. That's what I usually do after I do something. I just strut down the street like I own it.
If it's a gift store, there might be gift bags.
Yeah, it's a bread store.
It's a bakery.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a bed sheet just to make it not obvious. It still looks weird, but I didn't want to go far with it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to do that. You've got it wrapped in a bed sheet, so it at least it looks like you're carrying something in a bed sheet.
Lock the door behind us and get out of the alley.
Put the key back and walk out whistling.
As you guys step out, I guess Robert and I meet you back there, and we say, "So, you won't believe this, but out on the pier, the deputy's out there, and I think he's got one of the stones, and he's preaching to everybody. So
yeah,
he's lost.
We need to get walking. Let's just walk.
Oh shit!
What happened?
I told Butch, and he was up in the front.
We need to get to the room or something.
Well, let's run around to the front.
Let's fetch Butch and see how he's doing.
Yeah.
Is Butch still there?
Yes, sir. Butch. Yeah, Butch is not at the front anymore.
Oh, fuck. All right. Butch is going to be on the pier. He's going to try to get a hold of that stone from the deputy.
We're walking hot right now. We got to get this stuff back to the room.
What is that?
Well, remember Arnold Simpson and Denby Partridge you always talk about?
Arnold Simpson, he runs the store. That's what the guy said.
Yeah, and you remember Denby Partridge? You'd always yapping about him?
Yeah.
As soon as he says that, you instantly make the connection between Denby Partridge and Arnold Simpson, how they were basically these really, really famous archaeologists, very young too, in their 20s or 30s. And you remember that about a year or two ago, they split up.
Right.
Heard that they just had disagreements. But
I showed Odie that article. I remember reading it. And this is something from inside?
We've got some things of interest to them that we need to get someplace safe right away.
Okay, why don't you give those to me? I'll take them back to our place, and you guys go see if you can get Butch off the pier.
Sauce.
So first, as you said, Peter, give me an idea roll.
All right. 10.
Oh, so you. One other thing that you remember is that you remember that Denby at one point was married to a woman named Rebecca.
It's Rebecca. Rebecca's
Newman.
Denby. Denby is her husband. Denby is her boss. Okay, I think we're putting things together, guys.
All I know is Butch is getting an ass beaten.
And with that, Butch walks back up.
Oh, where have you been?
Hello, everybody. I was just checking out the gas station, and I was trying to see if there were any vehicles there. Turns out it's deserted.
The gas station itself was deserted. There was nobody working there. There was nobody inside. It was basically just left unlocked. But the whole place, the parking lot, was just packed with cars.
Oh, good.
What did you find inside?
Let's go back to our apartment and take a look at this stuff.
As we're walking, I like very quietly say we might have some spending cash and some other interest.
Wait a second. We're completely forgetting about Oscar, and my brain's gone.
You and me.
People.
Daniel and Susan and Oscar
Peterson.
are also important. We can't help them until we know what the hell's going on.
Wait, why don't we go back and have a look at Lady of Loretto? We're always pushing that off. We have a couple of places we don't even know about.
Well, we've got some stolen stuff on our hands.
Yeah, frankly, we need to stash a couple things before we explore further.
Well,
how about some of us go to the hotel room and keep it there?
Yeah.
Well, everybody give me a spot hidden roll.
I failed.
Oh, my eyeball just fell out.
I succeed.
Nope.
50 exactly.
All right, so for those who make it, you're walking down Franklin Avenue towards Boardwalk Street, which is where you would turn off to get to start walking to the hotel. And you see down the road, down Franklin, down by where the cottages are, where the road to the mountain is, you see a police car kind of crest around the corner and start, slowly maneuvering around all of the different cars. Heading up Franklin Street towards the pier.
Let's walk to an area where the car cannot drive through. Let's go through, if there's park benches, if there's other cars parked, let's weave our way through. At least that's the first thing that comes to my head.
Yeah. Can we go back around the buildings or?
Yeah.
Never double back. It makes you look suspicious. Just
I was also a little confused. I think we might have some regional differences. You said they're heading up toward the pier, but I assume you mean geographically down.
Yeah.
And does that mean they're entering town, the police cars?
Yeah.
So it's not like the cop that was down there proselytizing coming up.
Nope.
It's new vehicles.
All right.
Yes, a new vehicle, one vehicle.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make a sharp left turn very casually.
Okay. You without a problem, you kind of go around the corner of one of the buildings. You can see the police car, slowly going down the road, heading around towards the pier or the boardwalk. Are you gonna keep watching him, or what are you guys gonna do?
Does it look like
think
he's
one of
looking
us
for somebody?
He's moving pretty slowly. So yeah, he probably may be looking for somebody.
I think one of us should go talk to the police officer and
get this a contraband that we've stolen.
Yeah. I'll distract people. I'll distract the cops and ask them a few questions while the rest of you can go back to
talk.
But then he'll remember your face and see you walking with us.
Odie will tell you, don't talk to the cops unless you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe they're here investigating this strange place, so maybe we can find something. We can ask them about it.
How about this?
We have 3 missing people we're looking for.
How about just walk across the street in front of them and see if they're looking for us?
Why would they be looking for us?
Well, they're looking for someone.
There's 500 people in this town.
And we're the ones acting strange.
No, we're not. They're all.
Everyone here is acting strange, I think. I'm wondering whether they're going to go down to the pier and get the same induction that's already happening down there. But I have very little information about that. Odie and I are just going to go right back to the hostel.
Let's get this stuff out of the way.
Stuff away.
We can do everything after that. The cops
if
not.
You guys want to watch people and come back and tell us, but let's meet downstairs at the place, at the farmhouse where we're all staying.
Last time I worked with amateurs. Come on, let's go, please.
Move.
So everybody is going back that way?
No. Go to. I'll take Butch and go to the pier.
All right. Keep him away from the stone.
Yeah.
So we'll do it like this. So the three, Peter, Odie, and Mason, you guys are going back to the hotel.
Yeah.
We'll say you get back there. It's just like when you left. There isn't anybody around. What are you going to do?
Go up to the room.
I don't know if you guys have any interest. I've got both anthropology and archaeology, so I'd like to take a look.
I think we should take this stuff to the attic, which we have access to, and show it to the only guy who can maybe, figure anything out, my friend Peter. Because Peter, we got some weird stuff out of the top of that paper.
Yeah, let's
You're gonna like this. And while he's looking at the map, I want to mess with the lockbox, but not the lock. I want to see if I can knock the hinges out of the back. People always worry about the lock. You don't need the lock. All you got to do is knock the back pin out, and you open it up.
Okay. So we're gonna do it like this. Peter, you get the part. You guys go up to the attic. Peter, you get the parchment and you start looking at it. You don't quite make out the language. It almost seems like it's a cross between ancient Greek and Assyrian. I'm guessing you probably don't have either of those.
No.
Go ahead and give me an archaeology roll.
Okay. I do, by the way, have 5% Cthulhu method from my previous experiences. I'm sorry, what did you say to run?
Archaeology.
Yeah, I've got 40 in archaeology, and I got 79.
You can always, I guess, push it if you want, or spend the luck.
Oh, that's a lot of luck.
How could you push? What might you know?
Well, I mean, you can start. Go on. Sorry.
If I push it and I fail, it's going to be far worse for me than if I hadn't. It would mean that I could mistranslate it and think that it's a recipe for chicken soup, and it's
to serve
deadly poison. Yeah.
Well, you could sell it to maestros.
But you do have a little Cthulhu mythos, so I wonder if you might have some weird key. I'm sorry, I'm pushing you.
Well, I've only got 40% in archaeology. I don't think I'm going to push it.
Okay.
I think I might continue to study it.
You can. So you can. Sorry, go on.
I might talk to Rebecca.
Okay. Well, you continue to study it. It helps that all of the notes that Odie and Mason brought back and the notes that are written on the parchment itself kind of help you start to figure it out. You do know that it's going to take hours, though, for you to even, go through and get a just brief idea of what it is. But we'll come back to you on that. What
I'll do is I'll tell the other two. I'll say, you know what? This is going to take a lot of study, and it might be the key to what's going on. So why don't you guys just leave me here? This could be hours.
So you start doing that. Odie and Mason, Odie, you're fooling around with the box. You finally get it open, and you find that there is about $700 in cash in there.
Hey guys, there's $500 in cash in here.
And you also find almost a little like accounting book, and it doesn't have names or anything like that, but it looks like Arnold or Ernie was selling the stones for about $20 each.
Okay,
that's a lot.
And there's a sense, and if that's kind of a log, how many were sold based on this book? Are there 12 stones out there? Are there 60 stones out there?
Whatever about 700 divided by 20 is.
Alexa, what's 700 divided by 20?
700 divided by 20 equals 35.
35.
Oh my God.
That was pretty straightforward math.
And then the maid Alexa just kind of walks out of the room. That's what you find.
So we think that there were 450 people in this town when we got before this happened.
That was what the population was noted as.
That was the population.
Definitely more than that, based off of what you've seen now.
Right. Now it's burgeoning. Today we saw, I think, pale people as well as tan people as it grows. And if there's 35 of these stones out there, any one of which can affect the mentality of at least 30 people.
It could act like a virus.
Yeah. This is pretty scary.
Was there anything else? I'm sorry. Continue. I just wanted to ask if there was anything else in the box. That's all.
So, no, there was nothing else in the box. And by the time you get to this, you both, or all three of you, hear an explosion in the distance. Going to Butch and Robert, you guys, you guys are watching the cop car. You see it goes, along the road and gets to about 3/4 of the way down the pier, and then stops, and another policeman gets out.
What does he do?
He's looking around. You can tell that he's looking for somebody, and after about a minute, his eyes scan along the beach, and he just starts to storm down the pier, heading towards the beach.
I'd like to stealthily follow behind him.
Okay. Robert, what are you going to do?
Follow Butch.
Okay.
I'm tiptoeing like this.
You
in broad daylight?
It's really...
Okay, Buster Keaton.
It's really, really not difficult at all to kind of, hide through people, and the police officer, and you can tell that he is just moving quickly, and just by the way that he's moving, you can tell that he's upset, he's mad. He gets down to the beach, and he just starts screaming, yelling, and the people in the group that Peter saw before just kind of start to part a little bit. How close are you guys going to get there?
We're going to maintain enough distance so that the cop doesn't get suspicious, but we're still going to watch.
Okay.
20 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get there, you get about 20 feet away, and you can see that the sheriff is just kind of, moving forward, yelling, and you can hear him yelling you can hear him yelling, "Marks, Deputy Marks, what the hell are you doing?" And the people are kind of parting, and they part, and you can see the other policeman kind of in the middle there, and it says, like I described him before, he's wearing his police uniform, although it's basically just all unbuttoned. The sleeves are rolled up. He looks very, very tan, and you can tell that he's holding something in his hand. The other policeman just kind of looks at him and smiles, and just basically waves him off and says, "You don't belong here. You need to go, and you need to leave us alone. I'm staying here now." The other police officer, who's obviously the sheriff, does not like this response, and he starts moving forward, shouting, and he gets basically really close to him and just starts pounding on his chest, and it's hard to make out the words. But you can tell that he's saying something along the lines of, "You need to get back to your post now. You've been gone for too long. This is tantamount to desertion." And the other police officer just kind of smiles, and he takes a step back. And by this time, the entire crowd is silent. And he says, "Actually, I belong here now, and you do not." And with that, he holds out his hand, and as he opens his hand, you can see one of those stones in his hand, and a bright beam of light shoots out and just totally engulfs the other police officer. It gets so bright that your eyes just you have to shut your eyes because it becomes so bright. As you do that, you hear basically an explosion as that happens, and almost immediately the light goes away, and where the sheriff was standing before is just a pile of dust. Both of you give me sanity checks.
No.
I just make it.
If you make it, lose D2 of SAN. If you didn't, a D4.
Oh God! 4 sanity points.
1 sanity point.
Once that happens, the entire place goes silent. I mean, nobody along the beach is saying a word. And that happens for about 10 seconds. And then the entire crowd just erupts in cheers. The deputy gets rushed by everybody, and they just basically, they pick him up. You see other people grabbing the dust of the police officer who was obliterated and just start almost anointing the other police officer with the dust of the police officer who was killed.
Grab Butch by the arm. Time to go.
Wait, is it still night? Is it night? Because the last time some.
No. It's middle of the day.
Oh no.
Grab Butch by the arm and drag him out of there. It's time to go.
No. We have to see this. This makes no sense.
So as you're pulling him away, slowly pulling Butch away, you can hear people start chanting around as they're picking up the police officer. You can hear them chanting, "Ramses, son of Ra, Ramses, son of Ra," and they start carrying him off down the beach.
So that's Egyptian.
With that, Peter, you're looking at the parchment. You are, trying to translate it. It's going to take hours to go through. However, your eyes set onto one word that seems to be underlined by whoever was making the notes on the parchment, and that word is Azathoth.
Shiza.
And with that, we will end.
Whoa.
Excellent.
Great.
Wow.
Amazing game. Yeah.
Our players included Jerry Bryan, Vinesh Ramakrishnan, David Gassaway, Zane Fleming, who wasn't here tonight, Jason Melnichuk, and myself with Tyler Hudak as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production. In order to create a richer listener experience, we provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to become a patron, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We like reading them. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.